426 narrated Aisha, R.A. She said, the Prophet, pbuh, liked to start from the right side whenever possible in all his affairs. Even when performing ablution, combing his hair and putting on his shoes. 427 narrated Aisha, R.A., that Habiba and Salama, R.A., mentioned a church they saw in Abyssinia in which there were several idols. They both mentioned this to the Prophet, pbuh. He said, their condition was such that whenever a righteous person died, they would build a mosque over his grave and place an idol of that person in it. They will be the worst of creation in the sight of Allah on the day of resurrection. 428 narrated Anas ibn Malik, R.A. He said, when the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, reached Medina, he first came to the tribe of Banu Amr ibn Auf, who were in the upper part of Medina. The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, stayed with them for 14 days, in another narration, 24 days. Then he called for Banu Najjar. They came with their swords slung over their shoulders. I can still see the scene. The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, was on his mount. Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, was behind him on the mount, and the group of Banu Najjar was around him. Finally, he dismounted on the terrace of the house of Abu Ayyub Ansari, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, liked to pray wherever the time for prayer was, and he would pray in the sheepfolds. Now he ordered that a mosque be built. He called for Banu Najjar and said, O Banu Najjar, you determine the price of this garden of yours from me. They said, no, by Allah, we will not take its price. We expect its price from Allah alone. Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, said, I tell you that there were graves and ruins of the polytheists here. And there were date palms. The graves of the polytheists were dug up by the order of the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, then the ruins were leveled, the date palms were cut down, then they were lined up in the direction of the mosque and stones were placed on either side of them. The companions were reciting verses while lifting the stones. The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, was with them. He was saying, O Allah! There is no good except the good of the hereafter. Forgive the Ansar and the Muhajirun. 429 narrated Anas ibn Malik, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, prayed at the place where the goats were kept. Al-Rabi said, then I heard Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, say that before building the mosque, he, the Prophet, prayed in a sheepfold. 430 narrated Nafi, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, I saw Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, praying towards his camel. And Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, said, I saw the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, doing that. 431 narrated Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, once the sun eclipsed. Then the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, prayed. Then he said, I have been shown hell. I have never seen such a terrible sight as today. 432 narrated Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, pray in your houses and do not turn your houses into graves. 433 narrated Abdullah ibn Umar, the Messenger of Allah, said, do not enter the homes of the people who will be punished except while weeping. Do not enter them until you hear them weeping, lest what has befallen them should befall you. 434 narrated Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her. Salama, may Allah be pleased with her, mentioned to the Messenger of Allah, a church she had seen in Abyssinia called Maria. She described the images she had seen there. The Messenger of Allah said, these are a people who, when a righteous person among them died, would build a mosque over his grave and place their images in it. they are the worst of creatures in the sight of Allah. 435 to 436 narrated Ubaydullah ibn Abdullah ibn Utbah, may Allah be pleased with him. Aisha and Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with them, said, when the death pangs of the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, began, he covered his face with one of his garments. When he was about to die, he removed the garment from his face. He said, may Allah curse the Jews and the Christians, for they have taken the graves of their prophets as places of worship. He warned them against what they were doing. 435 to 436 narrated Ubaydullah ibn Abdullah ibn Utbah, may Allah be pleased with them. Aisha and Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with them, said, when the death pangs of the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, began, he covered his face with one of his garments. When he was about to die, he removed the garment from his face. In this situation, he said, may Allah curse the Jews and the Christians, for they have turned the graves of their prophets, into mosques. By this, he warned against the innovative actions they were doing. 437 narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him. The Messenger of Allah. 438 narrated Jabir bin Abdullah, R.A. He said, the Messenger of Allah said, I have been given 5 things which no prophet before me was given. 1. I have been helped with an influence that can be felt from a distance of a month. 2. The whole earth has been made for me a place of prayer and a means of purification. So whoever of my ummah prays wherever the time for prayer is, there. 3. The spoils have been made lawful for me. 4. Other prophets were sent to their own people, but I have been sent to all mankind. 5. I have been given the right of universal intercession. 439 narrated Aisha, R.A. There was a black slave girl from an Arab tribe. They freed her. Then she remained with them. She said that one of their daughters went out wearing a necklace of red leather with precious stones around her neck. The maidservant said, she may have left it somewhere, or it may have fallen somewhere. Then an eagle thought it was a piece of meat and snatched it away. The maidservant said, then the people of the tribe searched for it, but they did not find it. So they blamed me for it. She said, they searched me, even my private parts. The maidservant said, by Allah, I was standing with them when the eagle flew away and dropped the necklace. She said, it fell in front of them. I said, you blamed me for this. You suspected me, but I am innocent of it. This is the necklace. She said, then she came to the Messenger of Allah, and embraced Islam. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said, a tent or a canopy was made for her in the mosque of the Prophet. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said, she, the slave girl, used to come to me and talk to me. Whenever she sat with me, she would say, that day of defeat was a miracle from my Lord. Know that it saved me from the city of disbelief. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said, I said to her, what is the matter with you that you say this whenever you sit with me? Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said, he then related the incident to me. 440 narrated by Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him. He used to sleep in the mosque of the Prophet. He was an unmarried young man. He had no family. 441 narrated by Sal ibn Said, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, the Messenger of Allah came to the house of Fatima, but he did not find Ali in the house. He asked Fatima, where is your cousin? She said, he got angry with me because of a quarrel between me and him and went out. He did not even rest with me for the afternoon. Then the Messenger of Allah said to a man, look where he is. The man went and found him and said, O Messenger of Allah, he is lying in the mosque. The Messenger of Allah came and found Ali lying on his back. One side of his cloak had fallen and dirt had covered his body. The Messenger of Allah shook the dirt off his body and said, "Get up, O Abu Turab. Get up, O Abu Turab." 442. Narrated Abu Huraira. He said, I saw 70 companions of the Sufa, none of whom had a large cloak on their bodies. They might have only a loincloth or a short cloak that they tied around their necks. Some of them had it down to the midsack or the knees, while others had it down to the ankles. They used to hold their clothes with their hands for fear of revealing their private parts. 443 Narrated Jabir ibn Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, I came to the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. He was in the mosque. Narrated Rabbi Misayar, may Allah be pleased with him. I remembered Rabbi Muharib, may Allah be pleased with him, talking about the time of Shasht. The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, pray 2 rak'ahs. Jabir, may Allah be pleased with him, said, I owed the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. He paid it and even gave me more. 444 Narrated Abu Qatada al-Salami, may Allah be pleased with him. The Messenger of Allah said, when one of you enters the mosque, let him pray 2 rak'ahs before sitting. 445 Narrated Abu Huraira, R.A. The Messenger of Allah said, when one of you prays in the mosque, the angels continue to pray for him as long as he sits where he prayed until he reaches the time of Hadith. They say, O Allah, forgive him. O Allah, have mercy on him. 446. Narrated Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him. During the time of the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, the mosque was built of mud bricks, its roof was made of palm branches, and its pillars were made of palm trees. Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, did not add anything to it. However, Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, did add to it. He built its foundation on the same foundation that was made during the time of the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, with mud bricks and palm branches, and he replaced the pillars with wooden ones. Then Uthman, may Allah be pleased with him, made changes to it and added to it a lot. He built the walls with carved stone and lime mortar. He also made the pillars of carved stone, and he made the roof of teak wood. 447. Narrated in a hadith from Ikrimah, Ibn Abbas said to me and his son Ali, go to Abu Sa'id and listen to him. We went. He was working in a garden. When he saw us, he knelt down and began to talk. Finally, he came to the Prophet's mosque to discuss building a mosque. He said, we were carrying bricks one by one, and Amr was carrying 2 by 2. The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, saw this and began to brush the dirt off his body and said, cursed be Amr. A group of rebels will kill him. He will call them to paradise, and they will call him to hell. Abu Sa'id, may Allah be pleased with him, said, then Amr, may Allah be pleased with him, said, I seek refuge in Allah from the turmoil. 448 Narrated Saul, may Allah be pleased with him, in a hadith. He said, the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, sent to a woman and said, tell your carpenter to make a pulpit for me so that I can sit on it. 449 Narrated Jabir ibn Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him, a woman said, O Messenger of Allah, should I make something for you to sit on? I have a carpenter. He said, if you wish, let him make a pulpit. 450 Narrated Ubaydullah al-Qalani, may Allah be pleased with him, he heard Uthman ibn Affan, may Allah be pleased with him, say in response to people's comments when he built the Prophet's mosque, you are exceeding my limits, but I heard the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, say, Bukhari, may Allah be pleased with him, said, I think that Asim, may Allah be pleased with him, mentioned in his narration that Allah will build for him a house like this in paradise.